Hello, freak bitches. And I attributed it to cutting out refined sugars and refined carbohydrates. I think that stuff's poison.
But there's been studies showing it also affects your brain in a negative way as well. And people that eat refined sugar, there's more brain atrophy. I mean, there's lots of correlations. The one thing I will say is that, there are people that are super physically active and they're like working out 2 hours a day. And, those guys, they'll use refined sugar
Different
to
requirement.
their increased transport, glucose transport in their muscles, and they're using it as an anabolic way to get bigger muscle. And
I know guys who do that after they work out. They eat candy.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's you can't compare people that aren't working out 2 hours a day or like that to normal people,
especially
or even sedentary people.
Weightlifters.
Yeah, weightlifters.
People that are just ripping their body apart. There's a lot of savages out there that are doing crazy powerlifting workouts and benching and squatting. And I know a lot of guys who like to eat candy afterwards.
Right. Yeah. No, it's certainly, I think that those people, they're not. It's not acting the same way.
It's a radically different requirement that their body needs in terms of glucose.
Right. And the thing is, still, it's the way I think about it is it's not really nutrient dense. I like to I'm well, there's reasons. Yeah, there's a reason why I like to take it. If you want the sugar, then I would
eat an orange,
right, or an apple or something like that.
Yeah, you should. It's probably the better move than eating candy. But I think they just want a ton of it. And what's the anabolic factor? If you were going to eat candy or something like that has a bunch of refined sugar after an intense workout, what would be the anabolic factor?
Well, the glucose. So the workout causes glucose transporters that transport glucose to go through the roof, and so the glucose from your bloodstream gets sucked into the muscle, and then in the muscle, you're basically you can use that as a way to have insulin, and it can be anabolic, right? Whereas if you weren't doing that, then the glucose is in your bloodstream, and it can all sorts of small dense LDL particles can start to form because the inflammatory transformations that happen and things like that. That's at least my understanding. That's in combination, of course, with amino acids, which are also important for the growth of the protein in muscle. But that's my understanding of it, I think.
So, in general, though, if someone could cut one thing out of their diet, refined carbohydrates and refined sugars would be a great way to go.
I think if you were to think about the one easiest thing that you could do that would have the biggest impact on your health. And if we're talking about, we're not talking about someone who's already paleo or someone like you or I. We're talking about standard American person.
Yes.
The one thing that they could do to have the biggest impact on their health, I would say, is to cut out refined sugar. That's probably the biggest thing, the easiest thing. I don't know how easy it is. It can be addicting.
Very, very addictive.
Yeah, and that's been shown. Dopamine levels, can get activated.